Hello everyone. So today's video is going to be a wedding themed video because my husband and I's wedding anniversary is coming up. Only 6 months, our 6-month wedding anniversary is coming up, but that's crazy to me because I feel like we literally just got married but have also been married forever. So I wanted to do a wedding themed video because I realized we've been married for 6 months and I have so much wedding planning footage that I have not even edited and uploaded yet. So I want to do like a little series maybe. I know that this video will at least go up. So I wanted to do this video all about how to plan your wedding on a budget and how to save money while planning your wedding. Because me, my family, and our family friends pretty much planned our entire wedding and did everything ourselves, did so many like DIY projects, and just it was a whole process, and we had a little to no budget at all, like no money for this. For the amount of time we had and the amount of money we had, the wedding was just beautiful, and I still can't even believe the things that we were able to do with the amount of time and money that we had. So I just wanted to share what we did and give advice and the tips and the things that I learned while going through this wedding planning process. The first thing that I did, that might be like more of like an obvious one, but this is something that is like such a must to do. You need to create a mood board of some sort now, or like a collage of pictures to show the aesthetic and the theme and literally specific pictures of things that you want. This will help you plan so much, especially if you're doing DIY projects and you're trying to recreate specific things. This will just help you so much. Now, I went into incredible detail, like to the type of icing, the type of layers that I wanted on my cake, to like each centerpiece, what everyone was wearing, the flowers everyone was gonna have. Like I went into such detail. And I just gathered all these pictures and created like a huge Word document, and I kind of just put everything that I had in my head onto this like document, and I explained everything. Like I would show a picture and be like, this will go here when you walk in, like when you walk in it'll be on the left right by the door. Like I had everything planned in this document. So obviously nowadays we have so many resources to use, like Pinterest, Google, YouTube. The Knot is like a wedding planning website. Pinterest was obviously the main one that I used and is the main one that like everybody nowadays uses. So go through, Google, Pinterest, and YouTube. Like if you're doing DIY projects, YouTube is a must. It has like step-to-step like how-to videos on certain things. Okay, so after you have the theme and the aesthetic and the colors and kind of have your wedding planned out in your head and then planned out onto like a mood board or a collage or like some kind of hard copy thing that you can reference, it's time to start budgeting and deciding what you're going to give up, what you're going to recreate, and how you're going to do it. So first off, I'm just going to share everything that we made, DIY'd, and recreated from Pinterest for little to no money at all. Looking back at our wedding, it's like literally the things that I had in my head were brought to life and so perfectly. So the first thing that you can do to save money is your venue and your location. Now, because with social media and everything that we have online nowadays, it's so easy to just be like, oh, I have to get married at this venue that cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, which is not true at all. There are so many beautiful locations that are for free. For example, we got married at my grandparents' farm on this hill, this beautiful hill with the crest looking over this beautiful land at sunset, and it was just so magical and perfect. My original plan all growing up, I always said that I wanted a big church wedding. I wanted to get married in the church that my parents got married in, and it is the church that I grew up going to my whole life. Both sets of my grandparents are members there. Like it's just like our family church, and I always wanted to get married there. But that's just what I always thought growing up. But then it didn't end up happening, and it was perfect the way it happened. But we could have rented the ceremony space, the altar, what do you call it? Well, I don't know why I can't think of the word. The altar? No. I can't freaking think of what you call it. The ceremony room. What is it called? We rented that space for free to hold the ceremony. We just would have needed to pay our pastor to perform the ceremony, and then if we wanted anyone from the church to do lights, sound, or play music for us, then we would have had to pay them. But that's only optional. Like if you have a friend or family member, someone who knows how to work the systems and knows how to do that, then you could find someone to do that for free. So you would only need to pay the pastor if he requires a fee. You can decorate the church however you want and, bring this beautiful church wedding to life, and your venue costs nothing. But obviously, if you don't want a big church wedding, there's other options. Like we had our wedding at a place that meant a lot to me and my family growing up. Sorry to Nate, but it was definitely more sentimental to me because it's literally where I spent half my childhood. It's where my mother grew up. My parents have this farm my grandparents have this beautiful farm with a ton of land and like a creek that goes through it, and it's just so beautiful out there. So it was like almost like common sense, like it's a sentimental place that we all love. Why would we not want to get married here? Especially at sunset. Literally so perfect. Anyway, so that venue, that location, completely free, and we could go whenever we wanted, set up whatever time. It was literally completely up to us. Have it whatever date works for us. As far as like wedding decor goes, my mom and I and our family and friends pretty much made and created and DIY'd all of it. There were a few things that, of course, like I went to like Hobby Lobby or Amazon or Michael's or like craft stores and ordered from, but majority we recreated and brought like our visions to life. So I'm just gonna explain all of them and how we made all of these things for little to no money at all. So first thing, we had the location down. We needed to decide seating. We could have rented chairs from our church for free. We just had to sign them out and bring them back by a certain time. We could have rented those for free, which we actually did for the reception. We rented round tables and chairs for free from our church because my entire family are members of the church. Now, I didn't really want folded chairs. It just didn't really go with the theme and the aesthetic of this sunset, rustic, like vintage-inspired outdoor wedding. So I, of course, was searching on Pinterest and I came across these pictures, which I just thought that they were so beautiful and absolutely perfect to how I wanted like the ceremony to feel and to look. So obviously they're literally tree stumps and wood and super easy to recreate. So I showed like my mom these pictures, I showed my dad these pictures, and then I think my cousin happened to be there for a haircut. My mom's a hairdresser, so he was over, my mom was cutting his hair, and we showed him the picture. And he lives on like a ton of land and said that he could go cut a stump. So we figured out the sizes that we wanted, how many we needed, which took a while because we had to know like the perfect height for this stump. And once we got all that information to him, he like took a chainsaw or whatever and cut these stumps for us and delivered them to our grandparents' house. And he did that for free, which was so nice of him. So we had the stumps down, and now we just needed like wood or something for the actual place to sit. Now, when I first pitched this idea to like my parents and Nathan's parents, they were like, well, we have like grandparents coming, like older people and family members, that's not going to be very comfortable for them to sit on during the ceremony, which is true, but I knew that the ceremony would only last like 15 minutes, so they wouldn't have to be sitting long, so I felt like it wasn't that big of a deal. Anyways, so my dad, he has lots of friends that are construction workers, and they were currently doing some work on my dad's garage, and they had like all their supplies and tools and everything, and there was extra wood, like scrap wood that was just laying around. So we found the perfect width and size of like wood planks to go on top of these stumps. So my aunt had sanded them down and like measured, and my aunt and my cousin, what do you call it? Nailed. Nailed the planks on top of the stumps. And originally we were going to lay some lace curtains and lace tablecloths that my grandma had on top of them, but we didn't have enough and it just didn't look right, so we actually liked the way that they looked with nothing over top of the wood. She sanded them down so they were smooth to sit on. So seating done for literally $0. And then, so now we were going to line the benches up to create an aisle for everyone to walk down. Now we needed some sort of arch or something for us to stand under for the center of the ceremony. So of course, looking on Pinterest, I found these pictures and I was like, these are so easy and so beautiful. It's just, looks like it's literally like 5 pieces of wood nailed together to create an arch. So originally, my mom and I were like, yeah, we can figure it out. We'll build that, no problem. But my neighbor was actually over when we were talking about it and he offered to build it. He's like, that's so easy, I can do that in one day. And it was so kind of him to offer that and to build it and create this for us. So I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% positive, but I'm like 90% sure we didn't have to buy wood for this. I'm pretty sure we still used the wood that was lying around, but I could be wrong, and if we did, it was like nothing too crazy. It wasn't that, didn't take that much wood to build. So he built that, and then my mom loves doing DIY furniture projects. She likes finding like thrifted furniture and like sanding them and antiquing them and whitewashing them. She's super artistic and talented with like that type of stuff. So she already had all like the paint and supplies to stain this arch and kind of use aging dust on it to make it look antique and rustic like. So she did that. And then while we were out at my grandparents' house, like up on the hill, walking around at sunset, trying to decide what would be the perfect spot to set up the aisle for the ceremony. My grandparents had this beautiful, like rustic looking red barn, and we were walking by it and we remembered that my parents, like years ago, they live in a Victorian house. They redid all the doors and the windows. So the doors, like these Victorian doors from my parents' house, were sitting in the barn, and they were green, which is literally one of the colors of my wedding. So my mom and I came up with the idea to do doors at the end of the aisle for them to be shut when I walk up and open, and have these doors open and be the big reveal of me walking down the aisle. So we took the doors back home with us, and my neighbor built a frame for the doors. And then my mom whitewashed them and sanded them and made them look like super vintage and rustic, like, you know, like she does. So literally all of the ceremony decor, ceremony furniture done for free, done for $0, and maybe purchased like probably no more than like $70-$60 for supplies as like a decor for the ceremony furniture. I just wanted baby's breath and greenery were like the colors and the flowers that I wanted. I'm obsessed with baby's breath. That's what my bouquet was, and my sister's bouquet, and my husband's like boutonniere. I literally have baby's breath tattooed on me. I'm obsessed with it. My grandpa is a ex-florist. He isn't a florist anymore, so he couldn't get any flowers for like wholesale price, but he could do these beautiful flower arrangements. So I think that I paid like $60 total, $60 or $70 total for like 2 things of live baby's breath, and then he needed like foam bricks that hold water so that you stick the live flowers in them to keep them alive. Then he was going to literally go around our town and around all of our family's yards, and it's, you know, spring, early summertime, so there's all kinds of beautiful wildflowers around, and I just wanted greenery. So there's literally trees and bushes everywhere. So he just picked wildflowers and decorated with wildflowers. And my aunt actually decorated the doors, and she literally went to her house, had like this bush of green vines, I don't know what they're called, and she cut them off, drove back out to my grandparents and decorated the doors with plants, vines that she cut from her house. And it was beautiful. It was exactly what I wanted. So you can use wildflowers, fake flowers. I actually bought I think 2 things of fake baby's breath to kind of put in the bouquet with live baby's breath as a filler, so it wasn't so expensive. And then as far as some more floral decorations, my grandpa, I will show you, insert some pictures here of what he put on the benches along the aisle. He used mason jars, and then he soaked like the wood on the trees, and he like soaked it and wrapped it around and just kind of made these like vintage looking centerpieces that we used for along the aisle. And then we also took those and put them in the centerpieces for our reception. So literally one decoration we used for 2 different things, and they were so beautiful and I loved them. And that cost $0 because we had all the mason jars, and then he just went around and found, we already had burlap string just from like DIY art projects, and he already had a bunch too from being a retired florist, so literally he created those for free. Earlier, my grandpa is a musician, so he used his keyboard and he played live music at our wedding, and he just borrowed the keyboard from the church that he plays at, and he borrowed a amp from the church that we played. My wedding dress. I am a fashion designer. I went to fashion school. I've been sewing all my life. My grandma is a seamstress. She's been sewing all her life. Growing up, I always said I wanted to wear my mother's wedding dress. I'm like a very sentimental person, so I wanted to wear her wedding dress. However, she's a very petite woman. She's short, she's tiny. The dress did not fit me. So my grandmother, from her marriage, she had just this beautiful, completely white lace ball gown dress that she wore for her wedding, and then my aunt wore for her wedding. And she just mentioned it to me, and I had not even thought about wearing her dress. I thought I was gonna have to either make one or like go find one really quickly. So I tried on her dress, and it was so beautiful, and it fit me. Well, she had taken it in for my aunt, so I just had to alter it, and I just made a few alterations to it because it was like obviously a extremely old dress, and like the waistline did a V in the back, so I cut it, pulled it back out so it would fit me, and straightened the waistline in the back. I took out this huge long train and shortened the train. I opened up the back, so originally it's like a square neckline, and then it goes all the way up to the back of your neck, and I made the dress an open back. So I just did like some small alterations to it. Oh, and I had to put in a new zipper because the zipper was jammed. So I did alterations to it. All that really didn't cost me any money. I think I bought a zipper, and that was literally it. I will say it was incredibly stressful trying to do this all, like alter this dress to myself, because I literally was sewing on buttons like the day of the wedding, but it's fine, it worked out. I literally am in love with that dress. I love it so much. It was just so perfect. So I guess I just got lucky there. I guess it's just my taste because I have a very like vintage taste in wedding dresses. Even the wedding dress I was going to design was going to be fully white lace sleeves with an open back, and that's exactly what I made, what my grandma's dress was and what I made it into. And then hair and makeup. I guess I'm lucky again here because my mom is a hairdresser, so she did my hair, my sister's hair, who was my maid of honor, and then we all did our own makeup because that's just how it always was. Like, I've never gotten my makeup done for prom and like homecomings. My mom always did our nails and our makeup and our hair, so we were just used to it. She's talented, like we all know how to do our makeup the way we want, and I wanted a very natural look anyways, so that's what we did. So obviously that was all free. So I think I pretty much covered everything for the wedding that we did. Hopefully, you know, you got some ideas on how to do little things here and there to help you save some money and how to recreate things. Like I said, just really use your resources, you know what I mean? If you have churches, if you have family members or friends that have specific talents or work in a specific field that'll help you out, reach out to them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching.